Hello everyone, this is Bullshed here, and today I am taking a look at Nobara Linux. And the thing about Nobara is that it's a derivative of Fedora, but it's Fedora with a bunch of tweaks that Fedora needs, sort of, but, well, tweaks that make Fedora a lot more usable to the average everyday user, and overall just many good tweaks for the average user. In fact, we can go read from the website in reality. Honey. Also, note, it's made by the same person who made the Proton GE, which I showcased in an older video, how to get that going in Steam, which is pretty dang good. It allows you to play even more than just normal Steam Proton. So it's pretty dang reputable. It's made by someone pretty dang reputable and getting things to work on Linux. So yeah, this has some notable stuff behind it. So here it says right here, the Nobara project, to put it simply, is a modified version of Fedora Linux with user-friendly fixes added to it. Fedora is a very good workstation operating system. However, anything involving any kind of third-party or proprietary packages is usually absent from a fresh install. In fact, here's the thing. When you first install Fedora, like when you get it installed and you boot into your system, it'll literally give you an option to enable third-party packages. That's opt-in, and you gotta click it if you want to enable it. And I'm gonna say this: I recommend you to click enable. You need to click enable all that, otherwise you're gonna be unable to install half the crap you're gonna install. Fedora is pretty dang strict on wanting open source software only. But here's the thing: we all run. A lot of us like to use proprietary software, even though open source, we want to. Open source is better in many ways. Let's be real here, but a lot of us use proprietary. But yeah, let's go forward here. A typical point-and-click user can often struggle with how to get a lot of things working beyond the basic browser and Office documents that come to the operating system without to take extra time to search documentation, which is true with Fedora. Even that, in the video, I had to do a couple yesterday's video. That was my that recording was the second attempt. The first attempt, I had to pause recording a couple times and I had to waltz into the terminal for a second because someone was locking the package manager or something, which was, I think I mentioned that in the second recording too. The package manager being locked and what that problems or something like that, but something to worry about there. But yeah. But can I mention something like that here? Some of the important things that are missing from Fedora, especially with regards to gaming. So gamers, we gonna love this. Include wide dependencies, OBS Studio. The OBS Studio you can get installed on any other distribution. 3D party codec packages such as those for GStreamer. Third party drivers such as NVIDIA drivers. NVIDIA users are going to be in love there. And even small package fixes here and there. Good. Other stuff. And more importantly, we want to be more point and click friendly. And that's why I aim to be on this channel now. And avoid the basic user from having to open the terminal. It's not that the terminal ancestor or the terminal user are a bad thing by any means. Power users are more than welcome to using the terminal. But for new users, point and click ease of use is usually expected. This is the point I was trying to say. This was the point I was trying to say, like literally, of the video 3 days ago, yesterday's video. I don't think you need to reiterate here. It literally just said it here. I think that some Linux needs to move forward in and such. Also clarifies that it's not a Fedora spin. It's a Fedora derivative, not a Fedora spin. And it's an independent project. And that uses Fedora packages, code, and repositories. That is the extent of it. So here's some bug fixes, and gaming-oriented updates, etc. The kernel's been patched quite a bit to allow more things, such as cherry-picked Zen patches. If y'all didn't know what they mean by Zen, for example, if I were to basically pop open my settings menu right here, go to About, and somehow, so I'm running Garuda. I'm running the Zen kernel, and hold on, Latte Doc kind of smoked a little weed or something. Get that launched back up, but yep. Right here it says I'm running 5.19.11-Zen. I'm using the full Zen kernel here, but on my main system. But this is cherry picked Zen patches, so. And what this does is it basically adds more functionality and more compatibility with other things, and does a lot of good improvements to the Linux kernel. Kernel is patched with open RGB. Basically, it allows you to use all the cool RGB you got in your computer and all that stuff. I'm not the biggest RGB fan, I'll be honest. I've actually made a joke about it before that's probably going to get me canceled in like 2 years, but could care less. Kernel patch with AMD CPCC. Don't care, but it sounds like the name of a communist party. Kernel patch enable AMD GPU for pre-Polaris cards. By default, set Radeon. Sounds like a good thing. Kernel patch with Steam Deck support. So if you got your Steam Decks, have a go at it. Kernel configured with a AshMem binder and Android support for Wayland. Ding. Kernel patch with Windows Surface support. If you want to buy a Microsoft Surface computer, which to be honest, from what I've heard, they're actually pretty good, and put Linux on it because you're a Chad, and you're beyond normal Chad levels, then well, this has it right here. Other stuff, workarounds for NVIDIA. It says override IOMMU, but for VFIO, IOMMU group control. Some of y'all will not know what this is, but if I pop open Vert Manager right here and go into my old Windows virtual machine, show you why I had set up, you wonder what the heck's up with all these PCI devices. Golly. Why am I passing? Thing is, I'm passing this the Windows 10 virtual machine has good amount of PCI device pass-through. And that's because IOMMU and VFIO and all that stuff. But this is not a VFIO tutorial. In fact, I can do that another day. But yeah, in fact, this is single GPU pass-through. That's single GPU pass-through anyway. So yeah, my graphics card stuff's passed through that. Let's not screw this video over yet. Our stuff, DNF fastest mirror enabled. glibc's patch with broken commits reverted to allow easy anti-cheat to work for rogue companies. So easy anti-cheat, from what I've heard, was actually I'm sure was recently broken. Why glibc's update on Linux. So there was a problem. So this comes with a patch. Some other things, no mutter timeout, etc., etc. No mutter patch with excellent fractional scaling. No shell patch with allowed no extension. Blah blah blah. On some other stuff. General usage improvements. Blenders included. Dependencies for DaVinci Resolve. Yes. And that installed real quick. I've heard some people have had problems with it. I'm not the biggest DaVinci Resolve fan, but I do know it's pretty powerful. Ooh. Now this looks pretty good. Wine. Included installation. Okay, I got a question for every single distro maintainer. Why are y'all excluding wine from the distros? In my opinion, I think wine should be included in every single distro with tools to make it more usable. As well as the necessary dependencies to make make more Windows apps usable. This needs to be the case on Linux. Proton, already a thing, obviously. Discord, already shipped with a good amount of enhancements. Nice. Flat Hub, repository enabled by default. Yeah. Classic type ahead functionality. Nice things. And RDM Fusion enabled by default. Include installation. Just a good amount of stuff. Only Office by default. Your printers are going to be working. For following. Somewhat some other things, but I think it's time we actually get. This looks like a very good distribution. In fact, we go to downloads. It has some wiki pages, snaps if you like snaps. I have some positives and negatives with snaps, to be honest. Amps. Official variant, which I'm going to be using. In its flagship, you got normal GNOME. Official variant, by the way, is GNOME with some extensions. And then you got KDE, which I love KDE. KDE, in fact, I think has a bit more capability than GNOME half the time, but yeah. So now, let me close Vivaldi and actually get into this. Yeah, let's get to installing. So what is our language? English. Click continue. Okay, now we have this. And of course, it looks like there are more settings out of the box that we can configure straight from the installer than Fedora. So localization, keyboard. I want a different keyboard here. Can I go with international? Okay, and okay, I got letter Thorn now. And time zone is correct. Installation directory. Looks pretty good to me. It's doing it automatically. Let's click done. I'm not the biggest fan of this. It's not as installer. This is not straightforward compared to the Ubuntu right here. I'm going to enable the root account. Enter a password. I'm not letting Jimmy SSH Mike into a virtual machine. And I'm going to, of course, create a user. And creating a user would be normally something that you would do post Fedora. Post install, but as in, yeah, but there are also some other things, so you have some groups, blah blah blah, just some power user type stuff. Let's just click done. And now, begin installation. It's doing its little thing. And now, all you just need to do is play the waiting game. It'll literally, right after this, it'll prompt you to reboot. You literally just click it, finish installation, and then restart. And you'll literally just be ready once you log in, I'm pretty sure, and bada bing, you're good. Good, but there, I'm going to look further. So, I'll be right back when this sucker is fully done installing and when I'm in the desktop. Be right back, peeps. So now it's fully installed, and as we can see here, We didn't, as we can see here, it didn't prompt us for any extra configuration, and it looks like desktop icons now showed up, and it's kind of all sort of thing. So yeah, as you can also see here, this also comes with the Windows layout. So if you're accustomed to Windows, which there's going to be a lot of people coming over that are accustomed to Windows, they're not going to have a hard time adjusting to this as much as if they were to adjust to something like Ubuntu or regular Fedora. So you got a start menu down here, and you got this stuff up here. Moving around. Got the Nobara disk, which I can just eject like that, but you can downloads, navigate, do all the regular stuff right there. I can select it like if it was the Windows desktop, but you can't just drag stuff on here like if it was like normal Windows. Sorry, it just don't work like that. Oh, wait a minute. Well, actually, this just made things easier. Now, I don't know why the trash seems to have a graphical problem, though. I'm going to empty it. So, yeah. So already, as a long-time user of GNOME, I can tell it's using dash to panel, and arc menu, as well as if we go here, using blur my shell. So already some nice enhancements. I can already tell it's using, I think, one Pop OS's extensions, where basically it makes GNOME a bit more of a tiler. Styling and color and such. So, yep. Let's just switch this back to right here, and yeah, it'll be like that. So, yeah, and that also can see on the box. So this is a GTK3 app, and this is a libadvita app. They have the same theme. So looks like Glorious Eggroll also made it. Looks like Nobara also has it, where the normal Advaita theme for GTK3 is now the same libadvita theme, which you can do that with any other, but now it's actually the libadvita theme for GTK3 instead of just old Advaita, which is a nice thing now. So things are more integrated, which is another thing I like. I doubt this thing has its own NeoFetch though for any of the terminal users. I'm just going to put that out there. And just as it comes with arc menu and dash to panel, these two are pretty customizable extensions, so we can, for example, import display on all menus, of course. Some I'd recommend overall, but always prefer nah, blah blah blah. And of course, you can change the menu layout. We can go with brisk or whatever. Some of these older menus, but we can just go with 11 if we want to go for somewhere like Windows 11. So we just click right here. Now we got ourselves a Windows 11 style layout, but of course that's why you go over customize and change some things here. You also go some like A to Z, which is also a layout I like. Other modern layouts. Plasma's layout I really loved. And this one, not mine, not my top. and some of these others, but in Windows 10s. But I'm going to set this back. Oh, you also got some others right here, but let's stop bickering around and let's actually set this back to Arc menu. So it's back on Arc. So yeah, so of course you can customize it. If you want, in fact, you can add something around that. Basically, if you want to symbolize that, hey, this is Start menu, or whatever. So I can just go to Customize, go to Button Settings. I can give it a border width, border color. I can give the thing a border. I could just, for example, give it a blue border, and it'll look like that. And though I'd probably drop that down quite a ways. I'd like that to be more round. And it also set this to let's change it to that. So now we can just go around there and such. So yeah, we can change this around a little bit, but I'm not gonna dibble dabble around anymore because we've already wasted quite a bit of time. So yeah, and we can also change this around a little bit, make this look around. Yeah, but we got more to explore. So on this, we can obviously install some applications. Obviously, and of course we got Inkscape. We got the whole collection installed here by default. And web font kit generator. Data metronome, Chronos. Well, if I want to go to, I don't know, create. Socialize, maybe. There could be something in here of interest. And you got some stuff. You even got your other web browser here like Brave and Edge, which if you want to use something other than Firefox, then well, you got your stuff. You got your stuff in here. Easy to click install. Oh, got a Facebook Messenger application on here that you can get. Got KDE's little web browser, which I actually think is pretty nice. Let reader. Is this in? It's a Fluent. I'm actually literally waiting for someone to make a Fluent theme. It's already gilded from Linux. Yeah, I didn't know they just released that, but Yeah, and you got some other stuff. Qt browser, the power user's little web browser. TeamSpeak. And hell, you got Google Chrome down here, Wireshark, Wike, and more. WebTorrent. Hopefully I didn't say this a bit wrong because I think there's a slur that's a little bit similar. Then you know how YouTube is. I say that thing a little bit wrong and they're going to yeet my video offline. So yeah. Teams for Linux Revolt. What is this? Revolt desktop. Nah. Dropbox. You got the whole collection. Well, let's stop bickering around further in to what's in develop. You got powerful Git UIs and all this stuff. And yeah. I'm gonna go into trade and see what we can get. While this loads up. We're already edging on 26 minutes. Yeah, already usability wise, it's actually pretty good. Yeah, GIMP. iPaint. Yeah, let's just get GIMP on here real quick. And either install it as a flat pack or package. We're going to install it as a full-on package because that is my preference. And it's installing it like how I normally do, so yeah. So while, of course, the train making some noise. Yeah, y'all can hear the train. Y'all can hear the horn. So while it's doing this little thing right there. So we can go into settings here. Let's see what it also offers. The average general stuff. Cursor size, defaults, all the default stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Appearance. We can change our background from here. Just your default Fedora backgrounds. Nothing too special here. Here. I'm gonna be honest, I'd go with this one. Actually, I'd go with this one, actually. This one looks pretty cool. Looks like GIMP's now installed, so if we can click on that, it'd load up GIMP for us. So, yep, GIMP's loading up. Back with GIMP, for example, we'll just go here, look for GIMP. Create desktop shortcut, and just spawn it over there. So, yeah. So you have some other stuff. Just close out over there. Let's see if this comes with any good utilities, though. Already got some good stuff when it comes to Steam. Accessories. Ooh, Game Conquer. What's this? Game. Huh? No. 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 Me and the boys gonna be hacking some Warzone today. Yeah. Yeah, that does not. I don't want to be the dummy that gets banned for that kind of stupidity. Icon browser. Inspect GTK icon theme. All the usual blah 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 stuff. Wine tricks that allows you to get some wine dependencies installed, but I'm hoping they already got those default. Got some good stuff for that. Some that allow you to use your HP printers, internet, your default, Firefox. Only Office on here if y'all want to know what that looks like. It's about going to pop up in a second. Takes a little bit for that one to load up by default. Golly, you're big. You're big. You're big. You need to calm down, fella. Um, yeah, it looks. It's actually very reminiscent of Microsoft Office. But yeah, this thing is big. Like if I had a 4K monitor or something. Like, geez, is this thing expecting me to have like 4K or something? Jeez, man. Yeah, this would be easy to move over for if you had Microsoft. Use Microsoft Office. Matter of fact, from what I've heard, only Office actually has the best compatibility with Microsoft Office files overall. So yeah, stuff for like audio and video recording. So you got Kdenlive Live by default. So if you want to, so this is already pretty good off the bat for like video editing and stuff. OBS, you got that by default. Like I said, has some tweaks. VLC in videos. I don't know why you need both, but VLC, the famous video player that everyone used to have, but now no, people barely care much about. I'd say it's still good, but I don't know about you, but I don't know that many people that still use it. I remember it being on everything, but no longer is. Yeah, Deep Call Net. Now look, now we're over in System Tools. You got SE Linux Troubleshooter, Software, and Deconfigure. That's not many at all. Utilities. What do we have here? Other. This does not look like we had the same amount as. Okay, we have Qt5 settings. So already it's not like how it should be. So yeah. Already some I think would need improvement right there. So overall. What's Scum VM about? I want to know what this is used for. Yeah, I don't know what that is. But yeah, it looks like it has some good things overall on it. But I still think there needs. I still think GNOME. I still think it's falling to GNOME in of itself some limitations. Nations as a whole you still. I'd still think like some applications like DNF to Gore or an equivalent need to be on this by default. My eyes because again, someone would want to go in and install like actual dependencies and package stuff. And some people again, like I said, are not too fond of the terminal. Just some I just think would be recommended. But even that DNF Fedora is easy to install from here, so I can just go ahead, click install, and it'll do it. So yeah. Other than that, it's very good. And it has all the necessary tweaks Fedora has. To be honest, though, there is a competitor to this known as ReezyOS that I think I may try out I may try out soon, and it may knock this out of the water. Who knows? So yeah, when it comes to this distro though, as a whole, I'm just going to minimize that. Now I'm going to go to Dolphin. I think I have a copy of the distro ratings little file somewhere. I'm sure. Distro ratings. It's not txt anywhere. Let's search back me up. I like to expand this a bit. Okay, we got ratings.txt. We're going to copy this to here, and we're going to open with Kate, and yeah. So by the way, when it comes to doing the ratings now, I'm only doing this primarily around point and click usability as the philosophy, unless it's a terminal or power user based distribution, and it's going to be a bit different. Then I'll be letting in some terminal based stuff be in here, or if the terminal is specifically designed to be easier to use. But there will, like I said, of course, exceptions will always exist, but it'll be mainly focused on point and click usability. So overall stability, I actually used Nobara once somewhere, but I have not had many problems with Nobara actually, other than maybe one time. There is a YouTuber that seems to have a problem with it, and it looks like there is a big split and problems. Like some people are having a big issue with, like, I think it's accessing their files, and some people are just having a perfect time with it. So I do not know the full like spectrum of what's going on with that whole situation. So I'm gonna give it a 4. Is that one possibility of what's going on over there? But I've heard it's potentially due to like possibility of prior distro installation, but I'm not sure. Repository size, it's the same as Fedora's. With RPM Fusion, all that, and what's on here by default, including FlatHub, that's a 5. eSIM installation, hear me out. Now, when you first boot the installer, as we went through the installer, there's a reason I don't like Fedora's installer. It's because it has this like little grid menu, and it tells you, hey, do these, click these. And you may say, but that's just like the other, like those menus you find, like those terminal menus, like the Arch install script now, like where you press enter, but those usually send you down when you press enter and enter. This one, of course, does. It's like a grid, like it's not as straightforward. Fedora's installer is probably one of the least straightforward installers out there, to be honest. But it's not the hardest to install, though. You're not looking at Gentoo. You're not looking at LFS, of course. You're looking... I'm going to give it a 3. Yeah. And to give props to Fedora, though, they didn't make it less frightening. They made it less frightening, though. Nobara, for some reason, thought they needed to throw in the user and stuff, which, to be honest, they probably shouldn't have, or should have probably made it, if they wanted to keep it more like user friendly or whatever. So, yep. Speed, it was pretty fast. I'll give it that. Ease of use, I'll give it a 4. It comes with no by default, which means half the things are limited without a terminal. Well, but you can get some things that will increase your power, increase your utility. That's how I see it. But GNOME App Store is pretty dang good. Okay, for daily use, I'd say 0 out of 0, which basically is going to 1 out of 1, but I put -1 if it's not okay for daily use, aka yeet out of the window. But if there's anything extra that goes in this, I'd say it's all the tweaks in of themselves. Now, what we do, we take all this, so there's calculate, it's QL, it's calculate, but spelled with a Q. I'm just going to pronounce it as calculate, because I can make the cost sound. Yeah. Calculate. Calculate. Yep. I like that sound for some reason. I do not know why. So let's just do 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 1. The 20. No. 4 plus 5. Yeah. And we divide that by 2.20 divided by 2.5 is 8. And with the extra this gets, it's a 9 out of 10. So I'd give it a 9 out of 10. And I should probably add this. Yeah, I'm going to add that. So Nobara gets a 9 out of 10, and we're already at 43 minutes for some reason. So we can go File, Save As, Nobara rating.txt. Yep, and here we have DNF Dragora, but yep. This has been Builder Shed here. Hope to see y'all next time. See ya.